Pathmook is the AI for website conversions. With increasing online competition, over 98% of website visitors don't convert. The ability to successfully show your value proposition and support visitors in the buying journey separates you from the competition online. Pathmook qualifies and converts leads on your website by figuring out where they are in the buying journey and influencing them in key decision moments with relevant micro experiences like case studies, intro videos, and much more. Stay relevant to your visitors and increase conversions by 50% by adding Pathmark to your website in seconds, letting the AI do all the work and increase conversions while you keep doing marketing as usual. Check us out on pathmark.com.
So it was, yeah, what's my day-to-day look like and what do I get excited about? I think was the second part of that, right?
Correct.
Yep, cool. Yeah, so a lot of my day-to-day, especially in lifecycle marketing, comes down to some block and tackle work, getting in, whether it's A/B testing results and reporting stuff, whether it's building new automations or emails, working on content and copy as well, I think the term now is kind of like a super IC. So somebody that does high level stuff and does strategy work, but also does the building, as opposed to the having a team with content writers and designers and all that other fun
Mhm.
stuff. So a lot of my day-to-day comes with that, and also strategy work, which I think is probably what gets most people excited in this kind of position. Not just doing the creation of the pieces, working on a campaign this morning, just thinking through, what segments we want to talk to, the audience that we want to talk to, and why, how we get that to work functionally, and how we can communicate like we've talked about the right to the right people at the right times with the right stuff,
Mhm.
what those paths look like and all that stuff. So I think that's probably some more of the exciting pieces is the higher level strategy, just because I've been doing it for a while. So the block and tackle work is kind of one of those, you have to do it. So that's not the exciting stuff, but thinking through what goes into the block and tackle is exciting. And then I also think, working with team members, and even especially in a remote environment, I think it's more important to schedule times and find opportunities to work with other people. We've got our office is based in Austin, Texas. I'm located in Indianapolis, Indiana. I have actually
Mhm.
never met my team in person, as of yet. So I'm hoping to do that soon. But so creating those spaces to just talk to people and get to know them, work with them, collaborate on projects, check in on certain things, even just asking how people's days are and figuring out those pieces, I think is also a good part of my day. I enjoy that quite a bit and just connecting with people. And I think that's fairly normal, but I think it's something that people take for granted often.
Yeah, totally. I would agree. I mean, we're more and more in a remote environment, like all of us are, right? Some of us have an hybrid kind of deal going, which I think is ideal, to be honest,
Yeah,
because you still get that connection, right? Because of course you haven't met your teammates yet and your colleagues, and there's something when you actually are in the same room, especially when you talk about those strategy sessions. There's some kind of energy, however you want to call it, right? I think
yeah,
it's essential that when you get together, things happen, right? So
yeah.
totally
I think.
agree with you. Yeah, go for it.
Well, I was gonna say, I think, gone are the days of like old school whiteboarding sessions, right? Where you get a group together and you've got the wall length whiteboard where you're writing out everything and working through problems and creating new strategies and ideas and stuff like that. And now you can do all that stuff in a Figma board or something like that, and or these different tools that you have a virtual whiteboard, so you're on remote and you're kind of, but it's not
Mhm.
that same feeling of like having a marker in your hand and actually writing stuff out and underlining and drawing arrows and all that stuff and reacting and working with people. So yeah, I totally agree with that.
My point exactly.
Yeah.
Uh, Nate, there's a flood of content out there, right?
Yeah.
Um, how do you stay focused and keep learning with that in mind? Are there any places, people, routines that you turn to for inspiration, or being able to keep up with trends, or whatever you use for learning?
Yeah, so I think there's obviously, industry or market areas that you want to focus on for whether it's a specialty or not. I also think that there's something to be said for just kind of digesting content, books, whatever, in the professional space. Right now I do audiobooks when I can with driving and like I mentioned, my volleyball coaching and stuff like that. Right now I'm listening to the book Unreasonable Hospitality by Will Judera. And it's about him and his restaurant that he built in New York City, and all of the different things that he did from a customer service experience to create a super special and unique area. And it has nothing to do with me working in lifecycle marketing for a baseball and sports technology company, but it does have a crossover effect with user experience, how we want to delight,
Mm.
kind of have people enjoy and take something away from that experience with your brand. Which is not, so it's not like hey, I'm reading stuff about life cycle trends and or marketing trends necessarily, but I just think if you find interesting content pieces, which I try to do, and I find stuff on LinkedIn or somebody posts about a book somewhere, something like that from a professional development, I think it ends up making us better professionals as a whole, giving us different ideas from completely different industries that wouldn't necessarily be a one-to-one relationship otherwise.
Yeah, that's a great point, especially that connection you made about, the hospitality bit and UX,
Yeah,
right? So I have a background in UX, so, that really speaks to me. And
yeah,
yeah, I think you're the second person on this podcast that's recommended or talked about that book. Because as soon
yeah.
as you said it, I was like, that rings a bell. I haven't read it yet, so you know, this is
This is
my
your
signal
cue.
that yeah,
Yeah,
this is it. This is my cue. I need to go and buy it because I think it's a great mentality more than even just a way of working to go above and beyond. To go that extra mile. And
yeah. It's
so
awesome.
yeah,
Yeah.
that
Would
sounds like a
recommend it.
great book.
Yeah, would recommend it.
Nice, nice. Sweet. So, as you said, Nate, we're in the back half of our episode here. If you don't mind, I would love to jump into our rapid fire segment. It's just a few questions to keep things light and engaging. Would you be good with that?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, sweet. So, if you had a magic wand and you could fix one frustrating thing in your marketing life with tech, what would you pick?
Reporting. I think that there are a lot of CRMs that exist out there. There are a lot of tools that do a lot of stuff, and they're very feature focused, especially in the lifecycle space. I've always I love HubSpot. I'm very familiar with Customer IO now and stuff like that. I think they create email tools and automation tools that are good. The reporting part is lacking usually. Salesforce, Pardot, the same thing, and Pardot is a whole different animal. But that would be a thing for me is a focus on ease of reporting for people like myself who are kind of those super ICs who might not have marketing operations team or individuals to help them find and pull all that stuff. That would be a big one for me.
Okay, that's a good one. We'll send that out to HubSpot. Hopefully they'll listen, right?
Yeah.
That'd be good. What's one repetitive task that you love to put on autopilot forever?
Yeah, so I enjoy A/B testing a lot because I like to see the results of that. I think if there were better ways to automate that, some of that also again comes into the reporting aspect of it. I can see the A/B testing in a platform, but for me to get it out of that platform and communicate that with other people is difficult and end up creating a manual spreadsheet and doing some other stuff. And I'm sure there are tools and other solutions for this, but you're just adding more tools to your stack. It's not really helping some of those things. So I think, being able to A/B test more rapidly and then get that feedback loop going would be something that I would love to automate a little bit more. There are some things that I'm trying to do with whether it's GPT or Google Gemini or any of those. Trying to find ways to A/B test a little faster and get some feedback loops going. And there are definitely some tools to be built in that space that I'm trying to kind of figure out and work on.
Okay, that'll be interesting to know your notes.
Yeah.
Maybe even after this, because that's an interesting one for sure. Okay, last one, Nate. If you could go back and go back in the past, give yourself a quick pep talk at the start of your marketing journey, hype yourself up, or maybe give yourself a word of advice, what would that be?
So I think for me, and I think I was able to get into this eventually, but I think early, if we're talking about year one, year two, do as many things as you can. Take on as many projects as you can, find and learn as many skills as you can to help you kind of create whatever path it is that you want. So I actually started my marketing journey in content creation and search engine optimization back when, you used to be able to cheat the system by doing press releases and a bunch of links. In the mid to late 2000s, early 2000s. But I think I was very focused on, I really want to get good at SEO. This is something that I can do. I can make a career out of this. But SEO changes and the algorithms change and everything changes. And then you end up kind of losing some of that. And if you don't allow yourself to learn and experience other parts, especially in the marketing space, I think you just miss out on opportunities for that professional growth and development, some maneuvering, some learnings that you can pick up across channels that could actually help amplify the one channel that you want to focus on, but learning in social media and paid ads and content creation and design elements and all those things, they all work together. And I think I see a lot of individuals now that are focused on video creation. That's what they want to do.
Hmm.
Oh, I want to go into social media. Oh, I want to be growth marketing. And they're focused on those individual channels and that kind of T-shaped marketing person or the pie-shaped marketing person where you've got a couple specialties is talked about a lot, but there are not a lot of people that actually do it.
That's it. Yeah, that's a good point. I think there's merit in specializing,
Yep.
and of course. But as you said, maybe getting exposed to more facets of marketing itself and early in the journey. It might help you, with learning more skills and being able to even speak to different stakeholders and, get your hands dirty with different projects. Sounds like, and I think it's good advice for most of the roles, not just related to marketing even. I think that's a good approach in itself. So, yeah, thanks for sharing that.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
Nate, thanks a lot for being on the show with us today. As we wrap things up, I want to give you the last word. If someone forgets everything about the interview today, what is the one thing that they should remember about the work you guys are doing?
I think if somebody forgets everything else, especially when it comes to win reality, focus on whatever you're working on, focus on what matters most to the customer, what matters most to your end user, and what those pieces are. And it's not productivity, and it's not saving time, and it's not a batting average, and it's not, right? It's the emotional and behavioral components of it, and creating something unique and special for them through the product, through the features, whatever. But really trying to focus on what matters most to human beings and not to a user. And really kind of going after that when you're approaching marketing, sales, work in general.
I love that. Care about how people feel when using your product or service. That's already a good base to start from. So yeah, that's great advice. I'm gonna leave it at that. Nate, again, thanks for your insights. Thanks for telling us a bit about how you go about approaching your work on a day to day, and of course that the super IC stuff is really interesting. 'Cause, most people actually marketing teams will actually do that a lot. They don't have dedicated teams for everything. So I think that opens up, a lot of opportunities and possibilities for people like yourself to be able to then, go and do maybe something on your own
Yeah,
or take a leadership role because you've worked on those things, you've done it, you've been there, right? So
yeah,
um, more of that, the merrier. So thanks for sharing that, Nate.
yeah.
Again, thank you. Thank you for being with us. And we're in the holiday season, so have a Merry Christmas. This might come out after Christmas, actually it will, but I
All
wish
good.
you a wonderful holiday.
Yeah, have a great holiday. Hopefully everybody stays warm. I know I'm not right now, but we're working on it. But yeah, have a great holiday. Thanks so much for having me.
Amazing. Thanks, Nate. I'll see you
Thanks,
soon.
Rick.